I I was seeing like obviously I was on Predict It and Polymarket, two platforms that were already offering political contracts, and we all recognize like the power of these. And Polymarket was doing it at scale in an unregulated fashion. Predict It was doing it not at scale, but in a regulated fashion. Right? Predict It had limits. Polymarket didn't have limits, but there were certain legal restrictions or jurisdictions that they weren't terms. I had this vision of like, and everyone at the Kalshi company had this vision of, hey, there needs to be someone who does it at scale and who does it at way, so that the US can get like very strong exposure to this. A huge hurdle of this was just like the legal battles that Kalshi had to go through. Suing your own regulator is something that lots of different exchanges don't ever really want to do because having a good relationship with your regulator is very important. And when Kalshi decided to self-certify a contract on who would control, the Senate or the House, the CFTC had stayed that self-certification, which means, they gave it a certain period of time to review it because they weren't necessarily sure if it complied with their rules and regulations. After that certain amount of time had passed, like, so first of all, like, you can imagine how frustrated we feel, right? We have to wait now for the CFTC to make a determination on this. Our assumption is they're going to determine this violates their rules. But we have to wait before we can do any action because it's well within their right to stay us up. Once we waited for this self-certification to play out, and they ended up, doubling down and saying, "Yep, this is wrong. We're not allowing this." Kalshi had to make the really tough decision to sue the regulator. And I remember, sitting on different websites that track court filings and outcomes and waiting to see what was going to happen. Once we finally got the great news that we could move forward with it, we recognized like, hey, this is kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity for our business. This is like the dream market that makes sense for a lot of people. Are CPI markets important? Yes. Do, my neighbors down the hall care about CPI? Probably not. But political contracts are important to me, and my neighbors down the hall are certainly also very politically opinionated. And I think we all kind of recognize like this is something that, is going to be a really big deal for prediction markets. So when we ended up getting that really big win against the CFTC and the courts sided with us, reaffirming the fact that, hey, trading on politics and trading on the outcomes of elections is not gaming. This is serious economic activity. There's a lot of economic consequence. There's clearly some hedging utility. It became a very exciting and very real thing to us.